Welcome, everyone. I'm sure we're going to have more people join us. We'll hear the little ding-dong bell and people will come along and join us just now. There are often a couple of people still trying to catch up afterwards, or they haven't got the code yet, so we won't worry when they come in. But we'll be speaking to Siphiwe shortly and introduce them, but maybe we can just go around the room. I think a lot of us do know each other, but if we can just go around, introduce ourselves. You know, who are you, where are you in the country, and what do you speak about? What is your topic? And I'll start with Chris, if you don't mind.
Thank you, Charlotte. I'm Chris. I'm a member of the PSASA at the Pretoria chapter, the immediate past president, if we want to throw titles around. I've also have been the treasurer for the association for a few years now. What I speak about, I find to answer that question very difficult. I'm mainly a trainer that does accredited courses, but not every time. But the subjects that I enjoy most teaching is technical report writing and project management. So those are the ones that I really enjoy doing. Thank you.
Very good. All right, thank you. Ross, how about you? Also in Pretoria.
Yeah, Ross Saunders. So also with the PSA Pretoria chapter. I see we're quite represented today. I'm the South African ambassador for the Global Speakers Federation, and I am a facilitator for the Da Vinci Institute. I speak on technology and ICT management.
Very good. Sorry, I just remembered now that Taryn is also looking for the code, so I've just sent that to her. Taryn's also from the Pretoria chapter. Sid, how about you?
Hi, I'm Siphiwe, based in Cape Town, and I talk on strategy and new business pitching.
Very good. And you did a 5-minute presentation at PSA a little while ago with a really interesting pitch idea. So
Thanks very much.
Good. Henry. Hi, Henry. Just need to unmute yourself.
Hi, Charlotte. Hey, everyone.
Hi.
Hi. All right. I'm Henry. I'm a guest as up until now at the Pretoria chapter, PSASA.
Okay.
I haven't picked up a subject that I'm going to start speaking on, but I find myself interested really in the day-to-day activities of life and really the psychology of, human interaction and the interest with, as human people with each other. So it's really at that point of view that I think I want to speak to the human level and just interact. But so I think I'm going to go that route. But I'm in IT. I'm in Midrand at the moment, but I stay in Pretoria.
Okay, very nice.
Yes.
Let me just tell you, I'll kind of back into the queue here. When I joined PSA, probably about 7 years ago, I said that my business is called Niche Training, and that's my inspiration to find a niche to speak in. And at that time, I spoke about a whole lot of different things. And then I did some stuff in social media for a while. And after probably about 8 to 9 years of speaking and training, I think I finally found my topic. So I'm a futurist, but that's only kind of a really recent development in terms of really identifying what my topic is. So enjoy your journey, Henry, and learn lots from all the wonderful people in Pretoria. And I look forward to hearing you speak sometime.
Thank you.
Andrew. Good. Hi, Andrew.
Hi, good evening, Charlotte. Good evening, everybody else. I'm also a fellow Praetorian, and from a perspective of my particular chosen topic, I speak in the domain of organizational and employee effectiveness.
Very good. Should we just move this show to Pretoria? Yeah. All right, we have TJ there. TJ, your camera's off. I'm not sure if you can hear us and speak. Maybe you're on a device that doesn't work, but if you can, I'd love to hear from you. TJ?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. All right, just speak up a little bit for us.
All right, my name is TJ. I'm in Four Ways.
Good.
Yes.
And
so
what do you speak about, TJ?
I speak on branding and NLP, mainly on how brand positioning using NLP influences business. So it's mainly the brain, the brand, and the business.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. Good.
Sure.
Welcome. Lebo. Hi, Lebo.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm Levo. I'm from Rodiport, and I don't really have much that I speak on to currently, but I'm a consultant, I'm a trainer, I'm a facilitator, and I've just gotten into the speaking business.
Very nice. Welcome. Turnley, hello.
Hey, how are you?
Fine with you.
Good, good. Hi, everybody. I'm Tarani Kearney, known as the Boom Chagalaga Girl.
Hi.
I do training, smart skills training. Absolutely love it. It's my biggest passion. And I've also just recently gone into the speaking realm.
Very good. And also from Pretoria.
Oh, yes. Sorry,
Good.
from Pretoria.
All right. Lisa Hagen.
Hi, I'm going to start my video. I do apologize. I've got an unstable internet connection at the moment. Someone decided to drive over our fiber box on the corner. So I'm going to start the video. So at least introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa Hagen. I'm not a PSA member, but I do talks, and it might behoove me to join an organization such as yourselves. But I generally talk about ICT trends, and that includes future trends. But mainly it comes from a human-centered perspective. I also work on innovation and strategy.
Very good. Thank you, Lisa. And then Annette Kemp, who is, we know each other well, but we're not actually related. Annette, are you there?
Charlotte, sorry, I think Lisa has got my speaking topics.
You know what is wonderful? You know what is wonderful is when we discover other people speaking about the same things as us, and this is why I absolutely love PSA, is that that the fact that we're speaking on the same topic actually enhances our topic rather than steals from us. So if a company has a conference and they have one of us as a speaker, they might not want to hear from us next time, but then we can refer someone else. And then they get to hear that person's perspective, and that makes ours a lot richer. And sometimes we've had these wonderful events where people have come together with different topics, but the same message, and it just kind of like dovetails. And you know that you're all speaking about the right, really good, true stuff. Annette, yes. No, I'm just hearing myself back again. All right. I'm just going to mute some people. And if you can just bear with me for 1 minute while I try and give Roger a message here so that he can join us. Okay. All right, I can't seem to get through to Annette. I don't know if she's there or not. Just while we're just giving one person a chance to join us, just to remind everybody how it works. So your sound will be on mute so that we just don't get any feedback. If you want to send any messages, any chats, if you hover down the bottom of your screen, you'll find that there's a little chat box, and you can either send a message to one other person or to the whole group. So maybe if you've got questions for Siphiwe as he's speaking, you can post them publicly and everyone can see what the questions are. We had a conversation a while ago where people were answering each other's questions while the speaker was going on, and that was actually, we got short attention spans, so it's actually a modern new way of doing it, so it's fine. Yeah, so post your questions, and then once Siphiwe has finished speaking, then we'll do he'll take the questions and have a conversation. When we do have the Q&A, if you want to speak, you can physically raise your hand and wave it at us. If that doesn't work for you, then there is a way of raising your hand, and I can't remember where that is. But you can, if anybody finds it, you can let us know. Hi, where are we? There you go. Hi, Roger. Welcome.
Hi.
All right. Roger, introduce yourselves for us quickly, please, to the room.
Hi, I'm Roger Knowles in Durban, the founder of the Durban chapter many, many years ago, and an ex-national president, and looking forward to this evening's online seminar.
Good. I'm so glad you're here because you're the only person representing Durban. It feels very much like a Pretoria meeting tonight.
Yeah.
But that's great. We love Pretoria. I lived there for many happy years. And then one last bit around the room is right at the top is on the top right-hand side, you can change between speaker view and gallery view. If you're on speaker view, then or gallery view at least, then you can see everybody's pictures, which is quite nice. So you can see the whole room. Good. All right, so most of us are here. We have had a couple of apologies, the best kind of apologies for a speakers meeting. I'm so sorry, I have to speak tonight at an event, so I can't attend the meeting. So when our members are off and our colleagues are off speaking and earning money, we're very happy for them. We are recording this. We do a little bit of cleanup. We post it up. It's a very, very casual meeting. We post it up onto YouTube, and then we'll share the links. And if you have any value, if you found any value in this, you can share it with other people as well. And just to our guests tonight, thank you very much for joining us. PSASA is the home of professional speakers and experts who speak in Southern Africa. We love meeting new people and new speaking colleagues, and it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. We really want to be able to share with you the resources that we have at our disposal. This is not a membership drive. We're happy to have you here, and you can join as many times as you like on these online meetings. But if you do want to attend a chapter, go ahead, meet the people, make some connections. I heard a really good explanation today. A lot of the value of membership of PSA is just received by us, but the rest of the value of a membership is actually pursued by us. So it's no good just coming to meetings and sitting there and hearing people speak. When you start connecting with your speaking colleagues, you'll find them to be very generous and helpful. And that's when a lot of the real magic happens. So please do that. And also look out on our social media and our newsletters. We have a midterm convention coming up on the 20th and 21st of October in Pretoria, Joburg?
At Hacklebrook, Charlotte.
Hacklebrook.
In Randburg. Yeah.
In Randburg, okay.
Yeah.
Very nice venue. That's where the Joburg chapter meets. And we'd love to have you there. It's going to be a really good event, so look out for that content. All right, so now we're going to move on to the man of the hour, Siphiwe Moyo. I'm looking at his LinkedIn profile here on my other screen, and he's got a whole lot of comments here, what business leaders have said about him. And I think one of the nicest one is, wow, Mr. Moyo, what a speech. So I think that's that will be the sum of, and a really good summary of people's affection for Siphiwe and the content that he shares. Siphiwe is the chairman at the South African Board of People Practitioners. He is an academic. He is a speaker, a very interesting man. And I'm going to just put ourselves into your hands, Siphiwe. If you can share with us, our topic is about becoming the kind of speaker that corporates love to book and possibly rebook. But please also share a bit of your journey. How did you get here? What is your work at the moment, just so that we know something about you. So I'm going to be quiet. I'm just going to leave it in Siphiwe's hands. We're all speakers. We can handle that. And Siphiwe, when you're ready, you can talk to the rest of us and we'll have some questions for you. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Charlotte. And hi, everybody. It's so good to see people that I haven't seen in a while as well. So thank you so much, Charlotte, for this. I'm just going to try and just chat through what I want to chat about for a few minutes, and we'll be able to just maybe catch up a bit later. So I want to chat about this whole thing around corporate bookings and what some few thoughts that I have around corporate bookings and so on. But I wanted to start by saying normally I would say no to these types of invitations, mainly because I've always thought that we have people who've been speaking for a very long time, and therefore I've been speaking full time for 5 years now, and I've always thought, what, when you're amongst speaker colleagues, you need to shut up and allow other people to speak who've been speaking longer. But I then thought about it that maybe I am becoming, maybe that's a bit of a selfish view. I do have some experiences to try and share, mainly because 5 years you are not a legend yet, so you're not Roger, and but you're also not that new either. So there are some things that you kind of know there's some things that you kind of can share. But also based on my experience as well, as the chairperson of the South African Board for People Practices, what it means is, I interact with a lot of HR people and corporate senior people, and there are things that they kind of share with me about speaking, about their frustrations with the speaking industry. And I kind of thought, what, I think I would love to share that with my colleagues. So hence I said, yes, let me just brave this one out and come and share. So it's going to be my reflections, it's going to be my thoughts, it's going to be the things that I've been really, really thinking about. So March 2013, I'm attending a conference, and it was full of speakers. I don't think it was the PSA at that time, but it was full of speakers. It was an events industry summit event, and someone goes on stage and they give some statistics about the speaking industry and so on. And according to the survey that they've done, and it's quite credible, they said in South Africa there are about 300 conferences every day. So it's March 2013, I hear the stats and I want to fall off my chair. I hear that there's 300 conferences every day in South Africa, and I'm only speaking like once in 3 months at that time. I'm asking myself, what is it that I'm doing wrong? If there are 300 conferences, surely certain people must leave some for the rest of us. So I'm frustrated and I'm thinking very hard about what am I doing wrong? What am I not doing wrong? And so my reflections today is going to be the things that I've been doing in the past 4 years. After that reflection, to say, what is it that I'm doing? What are corporate people telling me about this journey? Because at that time, I kind of felt, when you feel that when you feel like you're an obvious striker, and everybody should be booking you, but none of the people are booking you. You feel like a striker, and you're a striker, but the industry is like sitting you at the bench, like, let him sit down, this one. You feel that you should be a top order batsman, but at that time, you are busy with the 12th man giving other players drinks, and you sit and watch other people do what you love, and you're good, and you're like, where's my gig? So that's what was happening to me. Talented, but very, very frustrated, thinking, is this industry for me? Am I being cut off, or am I being pruned? So that's the stuff that was happening to me in March 2013. I've since been able to chat to a lot of HR people, to a lot of corporate people about some of these frustrations. I think that has changed a lot. I speak a lot now, and I want to reflect on that journey, on some of the things that I learned, some of the things that I changed in my speaking career, and hopefully it can help someone and we can all chat about it later. So these are the frustrations of people in corporate about us. These are the frustrations of HR managers. These are the frustrations of corporate people about us as speakers. Number one, what they're telling me is that many of us as speakers, we are too obsessed with meeting decision makers. So we're really, really obsessed about, and we all position ourselves as, I want to meet the CEO this, CEO that, executive this, and executive that. And most of our meetings are about, don't waste time with the gatekeepers, meet the decision makers. And my experience in the past 4 years is that most of the bookings that are actually done in corporate are never done by the C-suite at all. They're actually never done by the CEO. They're never done by the executives. They're actually done by the people that we take for granted. So I want to propose that, firstly, we are too obsessed with the so-called decision makers. Decision makers in corporate South Africa are not that senior. And we need to kind of calm down and reach out to people that might not sound glamorous, but they are making serious decisions. Number two, the frustrations around corporate. The other frustration that corporate people are having about us as speakers is our insistence on upfront payments. You know how we insist as speakers that we must be paid upfront, otherwise I'm not going to speak there. And I think I understand why, because obviously we have cash flow issues and we need to be able to pay whatever we need to pay. But I've learned from a lot of corporate people around this. So what happens is when you keep on insisting on upfront payments, corporate systems actually don't allow for upfront payments. So when you insist on them, what they normally do is they add you as a once-off vendor on their list so that they can pay you quickly and get rid of you as quickly as possible. And it literally prevents us from being long-term suppliers and vendors because those people don't have a choice. They need to pay you because you're insisting, so they pay you quickly, and it's a once-off deal, and after that they really don't want to deal with you again. So our insistence on upfront payments, it's really, really killing us. And we need to ask ourselves, do we really need upfront payment for a large JSE-listed company? I understand that we're worried about getting our money back from small companies, but do you really need upfront payment from a large company that is worth 100 billion rands? Do you really think they're going to run away from your money? Because when they get rid of you and they pay you quickly in advance, you are losing so much. Because once you are a vendor, and my experience is this, so if you think about some of the companies that I deal with, they have 40,000 employees. They have something like 20 divisions. And when the other divisions calls you, when the other division calls you to book you, the first question they ask is, are you a vendor? Because they don't want the hassle, they don't want the angst of dealing with somebody who's not a vendor, because they know what's going to happen. So I think many of us need to revisit this upfront payment story. It's preventing us from getting serious money in corporates and repeat bookings in corporate. Number 3, so it was September 2016. I'm meeting a senior manager at one of the auditing firms, and it's not the one that is going through problems now. And this guy, I'm meeting him and I'm talking to him about a certain business, and I'm wondering why he keeps on asking, Siphiwe, are you going to be the one who's going to deliver this program? Are you going to be the one actually facilitating it? And I say yes, and I go on with other things and we talk. And then again, he keeps interrupting me. Siphiwe, are you sure you're going to be the one delivering this program? And then after a while, I decide to ask him, hey man, why do you keep asking me whether I'm going to be the one delivering this program or not? And this guy says something very interesting. He says, many of you speakers, one of the problems we have with you is the person who pitches business and the person who facilitates are usually the different people. So you come here, we chat, we understand what you can deliver, we give you the business, and then come the day of delivery, you've delegated this to junior people. You haven't even told us about it, so that is killing us. So if you're going to have other facilitators facilitating the program, the least you can do is really to tell your clients. So how then do we become that speaker that corporates love and book? I have a few things. Number 1, I think we must stop pitching speeches and position ourselves as people who are trying to solve problems. One of the things I had to try and do in my journey is to realize that people get tired of booking speeches. They want to know, what problems are you solving? And if you can find a problem that you are solving, you will get more work in corporate, because the more problems you can solve, the more you get paid, as we know. So find a problem that you are solving, and create a program to run that to solve that problem, and you get more bookings somehow, because after you've done a speech, they ask you to consult and so on, which is the stuff that we've learned from PSA in the last few years anyway. And then the other thing that was happening in the last 4 years for me, I was becoming very, very frustrated with aggressive talks around selling. You know, when you meet speakers and everyone is saying, you know what, everyone is a salesperson. Whether you like it or not, you must sell. And this frustrated me a bit, because my personality is not the kind of aggressive salesperson, sign here now kind of person. So my work and how I've kept in touch with corporate clients is that I just keep dishing out content, dishing out teaching, dishing out encouragement, and engaging my clients. And the more I engage them is the more they want me back. So the more I do things for them for free, like teaching, article writing, and all that stuff, and engaging them in terms of my posts, and it's the more they want me back. So I seldom have to do that hard sell, because it's just generally not my I'm not inclined to do that. I think that people who are more inclined to do it that way. And in the last few years, I've really realized that this is really a momentum business. You know, if you do the speaking thing for a few years, maybe you give it 3 years, 4 years, you start getting a bit of momentum, and eventually you do well. So it is that commitment that you have to have in the first few years, that germination process that we must all keep to be able to see this thing through. Because when you start, it's better. As I was saying, I was speaking like once in 3 months, and that has turned around, and you just need that patience to be able to do it. So what are the things that I've changed in the last 4 years when I deal with my clients? Number one, I started customizing my speeches, because I learned from my corporate friends that they are very frustrated with speakers, with the fact that we do the same speech in every organization. So I started customizing my speeches just a little bit. And you can't customize a lot, because the reason we become good is because of repetition. So I leave about 80% of my speeches generic, but 20% I customize for all the clients. And I've realized that, you know, when you start talking their language, you quote their own stats, they kind of feel that this guy is taking us seriously. This guy has taken time to actually create a speech for us, even though you know that 80% might be stuff that you talk about anyway. So customization is a big thing for corporates. They really feel that you are taking them seriously, and for some reason they just want you back more and more. The other thing that they're telling me that I had to do, and it's very funny that I have to say this, but you know, corporate people regard speakers as drama queens and kings, and many a times they just tell me that, you know what, Siphiwe, one of the reasons we actually work with you is just because you are humble. You know, you are easy to work with. You are not a drama queen, you are not a drama king, you're just somebody who's just trying to change people's lives. And many of us as speakers, I don't know why, because of ego, because of whatever, we just push people around. We treat people that we regard as junior very badly, and those are the people that end up blocking us from getting more work. So let us go back to that humility thing that we're serving here. We are not rock stars, we're not... We are not celebrities, we're just trying to serve. And when you work with people and you're humble and you just keep working and working amazingly. In fact, someone told me that, you know what, your speeches are not that different from other people. You're just easy to work with. That's why, and that particular client has brought me back like 10 times in the last 12 months. It's just one of those amazing things. So let's keep that humility going. The other thing I had to try and change in the last 4 years is this issue around authenticity. It is amazing that, you know, corporate people hear a lot of speakers and we start sounding the same. We start talking about the same stories and we want to sound the same as well. And one of the things that really has worked for me is people are just saying you're being authentic. So you're being yourself, and we believe you. You know, we believe that is honestly you. So I think sometimes we rehearse ourselves out of we rehearse so much that we just don't sound genuine. We just don't sound authentic. So let's keep our authentic voice going. And I think that corporates want that more than anything, because the more they book speakers is the more they realize that people just sound the same. The other thing that they're telling me in corporate South Africa is that speakers don't really take them seriously. They believe that as speakers, we don't take them seriously. And how corporate people actually know. We take them for granted. We tell them, we say things are research, they're cutting edge, but we don't know that these people actually are sitting on cutting edge research. They are the ones who know research. So let's take them a bit more seriously. Let's research, let's refine our statistics and so on. And the other small little thing that I've learned is that, you know what, credibility takes a lot of time. The pain of building professional credibility is very, very real when you're a newbie. It results to closed doors, and people kind of, are looking at you and just checking you out and wanting to see whether this person is real, whether this person is still going to be there a few years later. So if you stick it out, then something that does come through. So let's just try and build trust. One of the things I learned is that once corporate people trust you, they call you for everything. So and they call you so much for everything that they no longer ask you for recommendations. They ask you to literally appoint other service providers. When someone says, whoever you want to put on the programs, please put them there because we trust you. So doing the small little things for our clients that build trust is very, very important. There are no magic bullets. It's just a continuous process of building trust, building credibility, firstly by delivering what we said we're going to deliver, but also by just being a genuine, nice person. So those of us who are coming up, really, we have to respect the process, but we must seize the opportunities when they start presenting themselves. Because, the only thing worse than not getting an opportunity is squandering it when it eventually comes. Because these opportunities, they eventually come. And when you are not ready, you're going to squander them. So, so my journey in the last 4 years has really been a journey of going back to why I came in this industry in the first place, going back to the serving, going back to the giving, to the trust, to the humility, to doing what you said you were going to do. And so when I go to corporates now, and as I said, I never pitch speeches. I position myself as someone who solves human capital problems, and they call me for that, and I work with them for that. And it's just amazing how those little things have made a huge, huge difference in my journey. So I've been speaking for too long, so let me keep quiet and hear if there's any engagement so far.
Siphiwe, before any questions, I want to say that's been incredibly insightful. I mean, that's really kind of different information from what we've received before. So it's really going to challenge us to think. So thank you very much. I'm enjoying this. All right. So any questions from the room? If you want to just kind of raise your hand or give us a chat or just unmute yourself and let us know. Okay, Taryn. I saw Taryn first. Taryn, do you want to unmute yourself? You don't know how. Okay. I am unmuting you. There you go.
Oh, there we go. Fabulous. Sorry, I'm on my phone, guys. So I was too lazy to open my laptop. So hi there, guys. But hi, Siphiwe. I just have a quick question, and it's been on my mind quite a lot, and it's been bothering me a bit. I thought, why not just ask this in a group of awesome people and awesome speakers? I was recently approached to do some speaking, but at a conference, and it's a rather large international conference in Cape Town, but for free. Now, I'm just growing and I'm getting out there with regards to public speaking. Is this all right? Because some people tell me, no, you should charge for your service. But the Taryn in me wants to, just make a difference and never know where it leads to. So just like your thoughts on that, on doing free gigs in the beginning, and how do you go about doing it so that you can get perhaps paid gigs, if that makes sense?
Yes. So thanks, Charlotte. My comment, and then maybe someone else will pitch in. So I've probably done about 70 free gigs before I started getting paid. 70. So I've done a lot of them, and I believe that we can and should do free gigs where appropriate, especially when you start, because you need to get that credibility going. So when you kind of look at my profile now, I've probably spoken for like 80% of the top 40 JSE companies now, and I can put that in my profile now. But 5 years ago, I had not spoken for anybody. So it is very difficult for somebody else to put you on stage if you haven't done that. So I'm an advocate for free talks. I think you should do them. And many people in the PSA are very clever about it, on what you can try and get from them. So issues around trying to get the database from the organizer, trying to get the contacts there, but I'm a proper advocate for free speeches. I don't know if anyone else has a comment.
Anyone else want to answer that specifically? Not? All right. Taryn, I'm going to... Yes, Chris.
Sorry. I would just try and, if you're going to speak for free, that's fine. But see if they can at least pay your traveling to Cape Town. I would not easily fly, there and back. Geez, then it's going to cost you a lot of money. I know you can regard it as part of your marketing, but see if they can at least do that for you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Taryn, the advice that I was given early on when I was still in the Durban chapter, and it's kind of evolved over time with some other additions, but we should be doing speeches without being paid. And even if we are more advanced speakers, we should still kind of work into our schedule something that we call a showcase speech. So if you want to break into a new market, or if you're trying out new material, perhaps not all new material, but a little bit of new material, you can do a showcase speech. You can do showcase speeches for charities or for organizations that work for you. But then the advice that was given to me was that you still issue an invoice for your full fee, whatever you would have charged, and you give them a 100% discount, but you actually give them the invoice so that they know that you know what you're worth. And also, when somebody in the audience hears you and wants you to speak at their event, and they go to the organizer and they say, how much did Taryn cost, as a speaker? They don't say, oh, no, we got her for free. They say, well, say her fee is 10,000 Rand. She gave us a special deal that her fee is 10,000 Rand. So they know how to position you. And I encourage you to try that. That was really good. And then one other piece of advice we got from a PSA UK member was he said that there are 3 standards. You either, it's a fit, fee, or flee. So the fit is if an organization asks you to speak and they say they can't pay you, if it's a really good fit between you and that group, like this is your ideal client and you want them in the room and this is your marketing opportunity, or if it's a charity that you feel very close to and you want to serve them, then it's a good fit. And if you can afford the time, then you would do it for free. If it's not a good fit, then you say, I'm sorry, I'm going to need to be paid. That's when you need your fee. And then the third level is flee. So if it's not a good fit and they won't pay your fee, then you flee. You say goodbye. So that's two good pieces of advice I've got from PSA. But I really like the idea of showcase. It helps to smooth things over. All right. Thanks, Taryn. We got some questions in the chat box, so let me do that. Andrew asks, Siphiwe, you are a human resource professional. Do you speak on your expertise, or do you speak on other topics and subjects as well?
I do speak about HR, but I also do. So a part of HR mainly human capital development and career development. So my main topic is career development and motivation. So I do a lot of motivational talks, and I know many people kind of are of the view that this motivation thing is dying, but I do a lot of those. And for me, it's mainly because I work in the people space. People see that there's content sitting behind some of my encouragement as well, and it kind of helps to differentiate me. But I do speak on HR as well.
Very good. Thank you. Roger, you had a question a moment ago.
Just unmuting myself there. Yes, I started my speaking career, Siphiwe, speaking to EAP professionals all over the country. And it was a lot of fun. It didn't pay a lot of money, but it's what I'm an expert at. As having practiced law for the best part of 45 years and dealing with people problems, some of my clients went over the moon about what I had to offer. I did quite a lot of work here for the eThekwini municipality. I ran my own courses for the EAP Association of South Africa back then. I then decided to change tack, which I've done far too often since then. Big mistake for a speaker, for those who are early speakers. Don't change tack too often, because I found that companies weren't prepared to pay for it. They were paying really, really bad fees, although I was good at it and very experienced. I ran a 2-day course for 25 SAA managers, and 2 years later, one of them contacted me and said, you know what? We use your information every day of our lives, because I know how to deal with people problems, with the problems that people experience. I'm not talking about HR. I'm talking about the personal problems people have. Is there a platform where I could perhaps introduce some of those talks again?
Yes, absolutely. I think we must chat, Roger. I will find a way. We have events at the SAPPP, so where there's a fit, as Charlotte was saying, maybe on the program that we are putting together, I'll try and put you in that we can be able. But please send me just a few snippets on what they're all about, and I'll definitely.
Excellent. We'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Don't worry, Siphiwe, I'm going to be sending you a few snippets too, because I just thought of some things that will work with the work that I'm doing, so that's great. Let's see, Lebo had a good question. He says, as an upcoming speaker, I battle with just getting gigs paid or free, as everyone keeps asking for recommendations from previous clients. How do you get around this? So that's an interesting one. How does somebody get started right off the bat?
Yeah, I think that's the major challenge when you're starting out, and for me, I don't know if Lebu still has a corporate job, but for me, I started speaking while I still had a corporate job, and I was obviously still working at Nedbank, joined the PSA while I still had a job, and I just continued to serve here in the PSA. You know, served in so many things, and so in the chapter and so on and so forth. While I was still working. So many of the speeches that I started doing them internally at Nedbank, and it is those people that started recommending me to their friends in other companies. So I think if you have a corporate job, I think you should propose to do those jobs at your current employer, because once you do that, it is those people who have another friend somewhere in another company and that you can get to work. The other one is there is industry type conferences that just don't want to pay, you know, and you literally target them. I targeted a few in the HR space because I was obviously known in the HR space. They don't want to pay, and I volunteered in the HR space to do those speeches for free, and I knew that people would be there. So if you do have that industry where people at least know you in that industry, maybe that would be a good idea as well. I don't know if anyone else has an opinion on that.
That's very good. I was listening this morning, and I highly recommend to all of you the NSA, the American National Speakers Association, has a monthly VOE program. It's Voices of Experience. It's you can download it as a podcast. And I was listening to them, and they had a suggestion by one of their speakers that I've heard very often, Laurie Guest. In fact, I think, Roger, you've heard her at a conference before. And she is often talking about how to position yourself, how to get your fees right. And today she was talking about how to find work. And she says, a lot of speakers start with this and they forget about it, and then years later they're saying that they don't have enough bookings in their calendar and they're a bit slow. And she says, you know, when was the last time you did this exercise? So at the very basic level, and Lebo, I think this is where you can start, is it's your 100 list. So you write down 100 people that you know that are in positions, people that you know that know you, but that are in positions of influence in their business or their company or industry. So if they already know you and they've got a good impression of you, and they, even if they're small companies, they would give you an opportunity. If you approach them and said, this is what I speak about, this is the problem that I solve, and I'd love an opportunity, and I'm prepared to do it as a showcase event for you. You know, would you give me an opportunity to speak? And then all you need is those first few recommendations, and then you can start to build on that. So just write up your 100 list. Who are the 100 people that you know that might give you a shot to speak at something? TJ asks, Siphiwe, how effective are speaker agencies when it comes to booking?
I knew TJ was going to ask that. You could have just sent a WhatsApp, TJ. I think they are effective, and I think in the PSA we've had so many debates around agencies and so on. For me, I'll give my own personal experience. So when I started speaking in 2012, I approached speaker agencies, and naturally none of them wanted to work with me because they didn't know me, and they kind of work like banks. When you don't need them, that's when they come to you, And so I approached all of them, all of the ones that we knew in the country. No one wanted to work with me until one of them did, and they worked with me, and they were giving me. I was doing very, very few bookings, but my bookings were coming from agencies only, from only one agency at that time, and I was very uncomfortable with that. I kind of knew that if this one agency decides, we don't like Siphiwe anymore, then I don't have a business. So I went on a deliberate strategy to build my own brand and my own speaking business, and still work with them, but focus on my speaking business. And what has happened is, when I focused on building my speaking business, my brand, my content for the past 4 years, I've now had agencies working with me again, a lot, a lot. So now they give me a lot of business. It's probably still about 40% of my business now comes from speaking agencies, but it's mainly because I've worked on my own things. So I've developed my own clients, and sometimes against what they try to do, because when they see that you have a bit of traction, you are coming up, they obviously try and offer you other things to try and work more closely with you, maybe even get you to sign an exclusive deal. I've said no, because I realized that, when you continue building your business as if you don't need agencies, that's when they come to you. So they are very, very effective, but only when you are really focused. We are not focused on them. So when you're focused on your clients, you're servicing your clients, you build your own brand, you do your own radio shows, you do your own thing, and then their work becomes one of those things that, that becomes supplementary until they're actually big. So, when you start, I wouldn't advise approaching speaker agencies when you start, because at that point your video material is not good, and they get a lot of applications. They just chuck you out anyway. And when you get a bit of traction, and sometimes that's only then that they literally come to you. So I still work with agencies. I know the speakers who swear that they will never work with them. I still work with them. They kind of work for me. But I'm at the point in my career now where I can at least dictate that relationship. And it's a very funny place to be in, because I was not used to that. But now that I can get 6 bookings per month by myself, and agencies do want to work with me, and I let them work with me, because there's nothing wrong with that. But the terms are so different. The way they treat me is so different. So it's a dynamic that you kind of have to manage, all of us in our careers.
Very, very good answer. Thanks, Siphiwe. Any other questions for Siphiwe? Okay. Lisa saying, great feedback on the agency, Siphiwe. Do you need to put together a press kit?
I don't think I know what a press kit is, Lisa. You want to elaborate a bit?
All right, well, I'll try. It's on your website that you have photographs and your bio and your one page and maybe some material that they can use, so that if people want to write about you, or if they want to get your content, they can download it?
Oh, okay. No, absolutely, absolutely. And we definitely need that portfolio. We need the photos. We need the video. And I think it's one of those things where you need to use your own strength on this one. So I kind of know my strength. So I use LinkedIn and Facebook a lot, and that's my strength. So and I get business from Facebook, contrary to what people say. And people say Facebook is just for food, the food that you've eaten and whatever. For me, it kind of works. I get about probably 2 bookings per month from Facebook. It's crazy. And just based on just being myself. So I think those of us who connect on Facebook, they know I just write anything about me, my thoughts. And it's just amazing that I've literally pushed some of my clients to my Facebook page because they kind of feel they know the real me. So I have a Twitter profile, but on Twitter, I'm just this machine that is dishing out codes and research, and they feel they don't know me. And so when I interact with people on Facebook, the people kind of know what I stand for, and I'm not one of those people who say don't write anything on Facebook. I write a lot of things on Facebook. So people even kind of knows when I'm angry against Zoom, I put it on Facebook, and I'm angry about politics. I'm angry about this, which is quite risky, but it kind of works for me because people kind of feel they know what this person thinks. So I still do the portfolios and the one pagers and so on, and they must look proper and slick. Absolutely, but it's the personal connection that counts. It's about getting moments where people kind of feel I know this guy and I know what he stands for.
That's very good. It's an interesting way of using Facebook, and I know it's a very personal thing for different people. Siphiwe, Sid is asking, do you use LinkedIn for business?
I use LinkedIn. I use LinkedIn for business. One of the things I learned from LinkedIn is people who use LinkedIn strictly for business, they also do other things like, when they use professional LinkedIn, and Charlotte knows this much better than I do, they would send in emails and so on. I don't use LinkedIn like that because I always feel, so someone invites you on LinkedIn and you accept them and then thank you very much for connecting. If you need help with this and this, I kind of feel, no, I don't want you to help me. Can I know you a bit more? Can I see a few of your posts? Can I understand you? So I'm that type of guy, So even on LinkedIn, the leads that I get on LinkedIn, it's mostly based on the stuff that I share. And then that triggers leads rather than inboxing people, telling them about what I do. So most of the stuff is around pushing free stuff, my shares and so on, and people get interested. And then it's only then that I send proposals and profiles and so on.
Siphiwe, something I'm picking up from what you're saying is very interesting. And it's something that I've been playing with myself as a focus, is that you are very much focused on providing the content and taking care of the audience and the client, rather than focusing first on your business model or your plan. It's you've got stuff in your head, you want to be able to share it and help people. And I think that generosity of spirit, beg your pardon, that generosity of spirit really helps you to connect with people and to demonstrate your value. And then they're far more, willing to actually talk business with you because you're starting from their perspective rather than from your own.
That is absolutely true, Charlotte. And that's my approach. And in fact, it's not even a strategy. I just want to give, I just want to encourage. I just want to give a few tips where I know, and somehow that leads to business. And for me, I'm just trying to give. I'm just trying to encourage, and it leads to business. And I know, some people have told me that you're leaving money at the table. If you were to push a bit harder, you might get more. That's just not my style. I just prefer the sharing, the giving. And for some reason, business takes care of itself when I do those things. And there was a time when I thought maybe I need to push a bit harder, but I also felt when I tried it, I was like, this is not me. I'm quite inauthentic. I and I stopped. And somehow, when I focused on people, on other people, I then somehow get business.
Very good. Very good. All right, we got time for one very last question. Anybody in the room want to ask? Any comments or observations? Who was blown away with the new perspective? Oh, okay, no, wait, we've got two people. I'm going to hear from Ross, okay? Ross?
I just wanted to say thank you. There's some nice, fresh perspectives on things. You hear a lot of the advice that comes out that's very much the opposite of what you've said, and that doesn't quite resonate with me as well. So it's refreshing to hear that. Thanks.
Very good. I'm going to make an observation. Henry, I'll be with you now. What I say about PSA is that we are so radically diverse and different in our speaking styles, our content, our religion, our politics, our ethnicity, our values, our business models. I mean, we could not have a more diverse group of people, but we do have this one thing that unifies us, is that we have something we want to share with an audience. And mostly those audiences are speaking audiences. They could be training, they could be podcasting, but we want to share and teach. And I think that brings us together. But I love I love hearing different opinions, and that's been really challenging. All right, Henry, what did you want to share or say? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, no, it's very interesting discussions, and I'm really thank you, Siphiwe. Very enlightening. I picked up something that he spoke about, preparedness, somewhere along the line, where he says when you're prepared, the opportunity will come along. And if you are not, if it comes along, then it finds you in a position where, it looks ridiculous. Yeah. So I picked up that, and I think that's something that just, just made sense. So thank you. I think that gives me somewhere to start looking into.
Very good. Thank you, Henry. Taryn, did you want to share something? Oh, I have to unmute you. I have power.
Sorry about that. One more last question. I got advice also that we need to be known by something. So, for example, Alex Grange is by the socks. There's a few other speakers that are known for something. Is it? I'm just a little bit. I started becoming known as like boom chakalaka girl, and it started being like hotcakes all over, And I wanted to know, is it okay though? Can you put that part of does it help you stand out?
Siphiwe, I'm leaving this on your hands.
Okay, so Jane, I'll give my own opinion on this. I attended the National Speakers Association conference with Charlotte and Richard in 2015 in the US. And one of the speakers that was speaking there was a guy called Walter Bond. And Walter Bond, one of the things he said is that he was so frustrated because when he started speaking, people kept on saying, what is your one thing? What are you known for? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I speak on this and this and this. So for me, I think it takes time. I still don't even know my topic yet. I kind of know a few things that I'm doing. And I think, we shouldn't rush to box ourselves. So my view is we start a bit broad. And as we go along, we kind of understand ourselves and we fine tune our voice, our speaking, and our style. So if you've found it, I'm sure it will work for you, and which is cool. But I think don't rush to be known as this one thing. I think that comes after a while. So and it's very important to just take and go with the journey, because if you try and box yourself too quickly, when you actually don't even understand yourself yet, I'm still in that stage where I know I can speak, but I'm also trying to craft a few things to make me understand. So I think that is a journey and we shouldn't rush it.
Very good. All right, Siphiwe, thank you. Petra, you joined us a little late. Do you want to just say hello to us very quickly so we know who you are?
Oh, hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't get online, so I'm so glad. I know that I missed so much. It was just the little while that I've been on. There's been so much value, so thank you so much, Siphiwe, for that. Yeah, trying to figure all this out, but I'm here. So yeah, I'm so sorry that I missed everything else. Yeah, is this going to be recorded?
What do you speak about?
So sorry, yes. So I've been in the speaking arena for quite a few years, and I speak with corporates, businesses, events, etc., on 3 areas which are all linked together. So the first is purpose, identifying your why individually and in business. So it's really about connecting individuals with their value, their self-worth, and how they translate that into adding value to their clients, their bosses, organizations, brands, etc. And then linking with that or moving on from that is inner worth and inner image. So it's purpose, internal image on how you see yourself again. And that's a program that I've developed for women especially, although there's been a lot of interest from men coming in on living and working with confidence based on your value set and how you see yourself and how you connect with others. So it's translating your inner worth to an external message and how you do that with your clients. And then the third section is external image. So you've got purpose, internal image, and external image. And that's really on how do you identify and refine your personal brand based on your authentic self, your authentic truth, etc. So it's really about elevating company brand through the individual, or if you're an entrepreneur, how do you package yourself, again, on an external level so that your value and your worth internally is reflected externally. So, yeah, so it's about presentations, how you see yourself and how you deliver.
Thanks. Petra, thank you. I'm sorry you missed the beginning part, but we have recorded it and we'll have it up online quite soon, and I'll share the link with you and let you see what you missed in the beginning.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Pleasure. All right, folks, thank you very much. Siphiwe, I'm so glad that you joined us and shared with us. It has been really interesting and illuminating, and I appreciate your time. Any last comments you want to make?
No, just to say, you know what, all of us are really needed in this industry. All of us, our messages are very, very important. All of us are needed. There's space for all of us. There's no one person who can finish these conferences. There are so many. Just like when 4 years ago, I was shocked that, you know, there were 300 conferences and I was speaking once in 3 months, and that has changed. I just want to encourage somebody that, you know what, can change for you. Let's go on this journey. And when it does change, please use that time to encourage somebody else. Thank you.
Siphiwe, you're a star. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening. I'm glad we all spent this time together, and I hope to catch you in a meeting somewhere soon, or if not, at the midterm convention in October.
Thank you.
And our next meeting next month is with Philippa Mitchell. She's an author. She used to own Red Pepper Books, and she's going to be sharing with us. That advert will go out shortly as well. All right. Good night, folks. Thanks very much. Have a